My name is Scott Odell. I'm a visiting researcher in the Environmental Solutions Initiative at MIT and a visiting assistant professor in the geography department at George Washington University. I work specifically in the program on mining, environment, and society, which is looking at the impacts of extractive industries on local environments and communities, as well as the role of mining in the clean energy transition. Global climate change is, of course, the most pressing environmental issue that we face as a global society. To mitigate climate change, we need to reduce our carbon emissions. The main method we're using to do that is to transition away from conventional energy that comes from burning fossil fuels to getting our energy from the sun, wind, etc. So we need to build solar panels and wind turbines. I did my dissertation work in Chile specifically. Chile is by far the world's largest producer of copper. Copper is a really, really important resource to any electrical process, but it's going to be crucial to the clean energy transition. And we'll see a major increase in demand for copper due to the clean energy transition. But Chile is an important agricultural country, and there is often conflict over water between mining operations and agricultural communities. So my research focuses on what are those sorts of impacts. In particular, what are needs at this local community scale in mining communities that are bearing the burden for mining for the clean energy transition. There's two separate questions of this research project. One is on glaciers and mining, and then one is on desalination and mining. I created this figure to show the relationships between water use and water conflict. So climate change is happening in Chile, it's reducing water resources, at the same time that there's a big expansion of mining in Chile, which is also putting pressure on water resources. There may be concern over impacts on glaciers because mining tends to take place in high elevation regions where glaciers are present. And this may lead to conflict with local communities over those water supplies. A second question, that is specifically over the topic of desalination. So in Chile, there's a lot of optimism that we can solve a lot of these issues of water in the mining industry by getting our water from the ocean. I found this optimism over desalination, but even so, that had not replaced the use of continental water. And so one of my main conclusions was desalination isn't going to solve water conflict if it doesn't reduce demand for continental water supplies, because these conflicts are over continental water supplies. And in fact, may lead to new conflicts because you're building a large infrastructure facility in coastal regions that has its own environmental impacts. But since that time, and this is what I'm studying now in this J-WAFS project, we have actually seen an increase in desalinated water use and a decrease in continental water use. On the coast, reactions have been mixed. So these are communities that are going to be absorbing the new desalination plants. Communities have raised concerns of what's going to happen to our fishing grounds if we're releasing this concentrated brine back into the water, and including questions of, do we get part of the water? Or are you just going to use our water and ship it upstream? We need water too. We're also in the midst of a drought. Three things we need to do. The first is that we need to find ways to reduce our energy and mineral demand. A second is we need to advance the circular economy. So we don't have to only use newly mined metal. We have a lot of metal already in the system that ends up in landfills. And then the third is, even after that, even if we do reduce our demand and even if we do advance the circular economy, we will still need to do some mining, and that mining can be done better. We need to be doing a better job. Mining companies and government need to do a better job of consultation with communities. We need to do things like having plans for mine closure from the beginning, not just start the mine, but from the beginning have the investment in place so when that mine dries up, there's the money needed to secure those tailings dams forever. And we need to think carefully about it as a society, as well as the key players in this, the mining industry and government officials as well.